We're going to miss each other.
So now we can start. Good evening, everybody. It's time to start our weekly, that's nice. It's time to start our weekly club meeting, guys.
Tomorrow's Mickey Mouse's birthday.
Okay, how many years?
We're looking at like 80 to 85.
Okay, so like usual, I need to share the screen. I want to start the meeting with
Aha!
Here we go. So here we go. So, and on this way, I shared the whole screen. You ask about George, right? Because of the video. So, yeah. But before I give it over to our speaker tonight, I will ask you if there is any happy news out there, because we forget it, or I forget it the last time. So I will ask you if we have any happy news.
How does is happy news the same as most Rotary clubs, where the happier I am, the more money I give?
Yeah, but we have not a chance to give the money, so we're asking for the happy news.
Well, at my Rotary Club, we are meeting virtually now, and there is a group of us who like to meet in person, and it started out with 1 or 2 people. And this morning at our 7 a.m. Rotary Club meeting, we had 11 members in person. And so I was very happy to see so many members coming for fellowship.
Yeah, I can totally imagine that. But we have only this possibility to meet us because we are so spread it over the whole United States, you know. So it was good during the pandemic because we was totally trained in that. But, yeah. You know, it's also nice to meet each other. I can totally understand that. It makes it so much more enjoyable also. Okay, so we have any other, it looks like we have no happy news. What is with you, Glenn?
What's that?
What's with you with the happy news?
Oh, I'm still on top.
You're still on top.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Scott?
Oh, sure. Yeah, we had a nice weekend in Tahoe with the dog.
Perfect.
Yeah, too warm for snow, but still good for kayaking on Lake Tahoe.
I'm jealous. I wanted to go with the kayak out, and we had bad weather in Maui, so we couldn't go out with the kayaks. So to see the waves. So yeah. Any other happy news?
Well, I managed to ride with some friends Saturday, Sunday. We did about 800 miles over to the California coast. And Saturday, I got us lost, and we took a back road that went from Stewart's Point to Cloverdale, a back road, twisty, up, down, dark, sometimes had a double yellow, sometimes didn't. And we did it at night, and it was scary, but we all survived.
That's important. Good.
It's a good experience for sure, right?
Yep.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. Anybody else? Keith? You are muted, by the way.
No, I don't really have any happy bucks. I'm still fighting the sciatica, and it's killing me.
What killing you?
In my back, the sciatica, and it's shooting down my legs. I can't walk. I can't stand. I've never had anything like it before.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm happy that you guys are all here and we can listen to George. He will tell us something about what I heard. It's why it is also fault on this journey, you know, you did. So you will you will share your experience on your journey with us. So I give it over to you, and I'm also open it up, the screen for you.
Okay. Well, I will share my screen in just a moment. I will start by mentioning Larry, my brother-in-law lives in California, and he has proposed that our ride next year be the California Coastal Highway, and he's working on planning that trip. And we don't know exactly the dates yet, but we're looking forward to being out there and having a little easier ride than what we had this past summer. So as Ute mentioned, my son is also on, I think mostly to observe, but if you have questions, if anybody has questions that get in the weeds, he'll be able to probably answer them better than I can. In
I
addition,
also have the video pulled up if you want to stream it from here.
okay.
Oh, it would be nice if you share your picture with us as well, so.
He's very handsome.
It's
I
more
I don't
Right.
have
nice,
a webcam. I don't have my webcam set up on my desktop anymore.
Yeah.
Just wasn't using it.
Well, you know what? You were about to see him. As we play the video, it's about a 13-minute video, which is a fairly long video, but you have to remember that this is 28 days of riding across the entire United States. This video was also made by Wyatt. If I can't share it, I'm glad that you're ready to share it, Wyatt, but let me give it a try.
Looks good. What are the two bikes, George?
We had 5 different bikes, and I'll talk about what those were as we get through the video.
Okay.
This is pretty great, man. Adventure. Where you coming? You coming, Dad? Hello? I didn't hear him fall or anything. Oh, there he is.
Yep. If you want to see, there's the B now. Right there. Just a little bit.
Oh, man. Well, we're here at what I'm pretty sure is the real beginning of the cat. And somehow our luck is so bad that I managed to get stung in the neck by a wasp. So we're off to a fantastic start.
It was already on. So there's a stand underneath. I need to get that.
Yeah, no idea how deep that'll be.
Well, let's get that on camera.
I got it on camera. I'm gonna get it on camera if he wrecks one of us. What do we do? We all slowly advance at him.
Another one's coming.
As after a breakfast that can only be described as huge-antic, we are back on the Trans-America Trail here in Kansas. Oh, man. Whoa.
Until I hit the 15-mile-an-hour sign.
Yeah, you know, just in case you really cared to know about, holy crap. Wow, it's so clear. You can see the bottom right over there.
Oh, here he comes to the beach. There's the ocean.
I should have left it here.
All right, see you at the ocean.
All right. So I don't know what the experience is of all of you folks. We were somewhere between total amateur and advanced novice in off-road riding, and you probably could tell that. And and a couple of things about it that are just, you cannot tell from that video, and some of you probably have shot this video, but some of those areas, you cannot believe how steep they are when you get out in those passes in Colorado, and some of the switchback turns and things. They're so sharp and so steep that a motorcycle almost won't turn, even when you're on full lock coming around. Someone had asked what all the motorcycles were. So I'll mention my half brother who started with us. He was on a KLR 650 and he was not able to do the full ride. I ride a Honda Africa Twin, and I have some paralysis in my left leg. And so I use the DCT model, which is just absolutely phenomenal technology. And without that, on some of those steep type turns, there's no way that I could have made it. The other motorcycles, Wyatt, do you want to run through yours and Craig's and Zach's and Josh's?
Yeah, so Dad already mentioned he's on the Africa Twin DCT model. We had the KLR 650, and then myself and my uncle Craig were on KTM 790 Adventure R's, and my little brother Zach was on a KTM 390 Adventure, which was probably in a lot of ways kind of the star of the show in how well it performed. I think it's what, a $7,000 motorcycle.
Yeah, $7,000.
And kept up with all the bigger bikes the whole way. Without any issues, except the chain coming off at one point. That's what that.
We may have some showers on Thanksgiving. That's really kind of the next chance for rain coming our way.
Oh.
So that says something.
Okay.
For tonight,
Sounds like no riding on Thanksgiving there, David.
And tomorrow, 49. The next
and we had one additional rider, which was my brother-in-law's nephew.
And that means we'll have a dry.
What voice we have in the back?
And by Monday, Tuesday.
David, you need to mute.
We have increasing chances of rain getting in.
Thank
you. And so my nephew, he was he was
It's a
on
G650 GS. Sorry, I forgot to mention.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say all the bikes performed well. The KTM motorcycles are really just absolutely built for this type of riding. When we were doing the highway riding and the twisties, probably the Africa Twin performed the best. It's certainly not a GS 1250, but it will hold its own for comfort and riding. You saw some tents there. Our plan was to camp as much as possible. I have to tell you, the weather on the whole eastern half of the country, it just rained all of the time. And so we camped when we could. We did a lot of nights in hotels because everything was soaked.
Yeah.
And then when we got to the Western United States, you all will probably remember that severe heat that we had early in the year. So we started on Memorial Day at the Statue of Liberty, and so that's where you see the bikes pulling out. That's at Liberty Park, and then rode 2 weeks. Took a 2-week break, and then to let the passes melt, and then did the last 2 weeks through the passes. But it was brutally hot, and so we had one of the mottos that we rode with was "Make the tat your own." And so we decided to try to beat the heat as that front came through, that we would do a mad dash from Utah to the Oregon coast, and then ride about the second third or the last third back to Utah in reverse direction on the tat. That turned out to work a little bit, although it was still really, really hot in the West, way over 100 pretty much every day once we got away from the coast, which made riding pretty tough. And we were all really worried about overheating, but all of the bikes did well on that. Pack as light as you can. I don't know if you noticed on the first half of the country how much crap I had on my motorcycle. And I have to hand it to my sons. They both really had pared down, and they had gotten me to get rid of close to half the stuff I was going to bring, but just the half of the stuff was too much. And so when we took the break, we all unloaded our motorcycles quite a bit, me especially, which made riding in the harsher terrain a lot easier. But having, as much as we unloaded them, I would say try to take even more off of the motorcycles if you're going to do some serious off-road riding like we were doing.
I think it's important to point out that the TAT was intended by its creator to be a motel thing, and then people decided they wanted to camp along the way. That extra weight really makes the difference with carrying stuff, and also just with the speed of packing and stuff. As a matter of fact, on the back half of the trip, or back third, we decided to leave all of our camping gear behind where I live in Utah to just lighten up things and just do hotels the rest of the way. Because of how brutal the rain and everything had been, we figured to keep on schedule, we might as well.
Well, if you would need air conditioning to cool down after those hot days, you just sleep miserable in a hot tent, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, and
Yeah.
Dad got an infection in his leg in the last couple of days too.
That's right.
And so he was running a fever on top of that.
Oh, man.
Yeah, my brother-in-law is almost 10 years older than I am, but he is like Iron Man. And so he held up really well. Well, actually, he had not ridden since he was like 25 years old, and his neck muscles would not hold the helmet up and all the wind resistance. And the whole first half of the trip, he was miserable just from the weight of the helmet. But as far as injuries and crashes and stuff like that, mine were all the worst. On the last day of off-road riding before we took the break, I really got tossed when I got down in a ditch and my foot peg caught the side of it. I was doing maybe 20 and I went airborne. Luckily, all the armor in the gear we were riding, that's one of the things we did, all the gear all the time.
Yep.
And that saved me from being seriously injured, but I did crack a rib, and I spent the whole 2-week break getting better so that when we got back out, I could ride. If you guys have any questions, we're happy to answer them. This was the ride of a lifetime. We needed 2 more weeks. We should have went 2-week break, 3 weeks. We thought that we could ride between 150 and 200 miles a day in about 8 to 10 hours. To hit our miles targets, we were riding 14 and 16 hours.
Especially in the beginning.
Especially in the beginning. In rain, you have to go full on in any condition, and it wore us out. So the trip would have been a lot more fun, even though it was incredibly fun. It would have been a lot more fun if we would have had 2 more weeks. Has anybody in the club ever done anything like this, or even heard of the Trans-America Trail?
Oh, yeah. It's a big
I've
deal.
definitely heard of it.
I've
I'm
only
not
done like
long
8
enough in the country, I think, that I knew about that, but it's interesting.
I
Yeah.
have some friends who are planning on riding it. They're doing it on KTM 390s.
Totally doable. That's what my brother used.
Yeah, my youngest son, he rode that 390. At one point when we were in Colorado, 3 guys all riding KTM 390s, and they were all really good riders. They overtook us, and we actually kind of had lunch and chatted. And I mean, they just loved those bikes. They had all customized them a little bit. One guy had welded a rack on, somebody else had bought something off Amazon. So they'd all tweaked them to make the bike work for them. But that thing is just such a workhorse. It's a really, really impressive, smaller or mid-sized motorcycle. My nephew, who had the BMW 650, it was an older model, I think 2006.
13.
What was it? Why?
2013.
2013. But the KTM 390 just would eat it up in every aspect: handling, speed. It's just amazing.
Fuel consumption, unless you're on the freeway.
Yeah.
You have to see for what they built. They are built in Austrian for all the farms. They are lying up very high, and where, you know, also is only gravel on the street. There's no really a street, so they are really built up for that. So
Yeah.
you can, and they are light, also very nice handle.
Yeah, when
light.
we were in, I mean, 90% of the trip is actually like it's gravel roads and stuff, but the vast majority of the trip is not hardcore.
Mhm,
Colorado and Utah are hardcore.
mhm.
So there you would want the 390 over the bigger bikes. Everywhere else you want the bigger bike. So you kind of put up with having the bigger bike in the really rough stuff so that for most of the trip you have the comfort level.
In my experience, I started off-road racing in Southern California, but then graduated to dual sport and then adventure bike riding. And my comment about adventure bike riding with a big bike like a 1200 GS is you might have a 100-mile long route planned. It only takes 100 yards to mess your day completely.
It's true.
That is
That
true.
Mississippi mud was brutal.
Oh man, yeah, the Mississippi mud. Oklahoma, they had all these low water bridges, and the water had been flown over them at just the right depth to get some oxygen and water mix, and they had this moss silt layer on them that was so slick. Like if you were just standing, it was hard literally to stand up and just stand still. Your feet would shoot out from underneath of you.
Only on one bridge. It's famous for it actually among like the tat riders. Because we were the whole trip, we were checking Facebook because there were other people who were ahead of us and behind us and variations. So we'd be watching, you know, guys who were a day or two behind us for when they were going to get to that spot. And when the people started to get to that one particular bridge, all the videos of people crashing and posts like, hey, I just crashed on this bridge start coming through.
If you're interested in it, there's a really great Facebook group called the TAT group, I think, and you can see a lot of those videos. You probably noticed right in the middle of the video a cut to Wyatt and my other son Zach with a mouthful of really good burger. And so my youngest son, we have a ton of those pictures. My youngest son Zach, basically this was a quest to find the best burger in the United States that just happened to include riding a motorcycle. So,
did I see you guys on the Bonneville Salt Flats?
You did.
Yes.
Yeah.
That must have been wild.
It's like riding on the moon, man. It was, I have been by that. I've driven by it on the freeway and never got off. To actually get out on a motorcycle, it's a trip. So we have some good drone footage of that, but Wyatt edited this video down to try to give you a real flavor of what it was like coast to coast. And I would totally do it again. I would take longer to do it, but I would do it again. One of the things that we have also found is there's all these backcountry discovery routes. There's like 6 of them now in the United States. We're going to try to ride some of those as well. So I'm a Harley guy. I rode Harleys for years. We would have never done any of this except each one of my kids, when they get to be about high school age, I try to go on a trip with them, and I have 4. And I try to go on a trip, just me and them, and they can pick anywhere they want to go. And Wyatt wanted to go to New Zealand. And so we went to New Zealand and we rode motorcycles on a route that was given to us that took you to where all of the cinematography for The Lord of the Rings was shot. And it was just unbelievable. And so I had been riding a Harley, and we got over there and got on these Suzuki V-Stroms, which is a really good, solid motorcycle. And we rode all over the South Island of New Zealand, and we were both hooked. So I came back and got an Africa Twin and sold my Harley. And although sometimes I wish I had my Harley again.
Oh, the trend is to have 2 bikes. So
Have 2 bikes. Well, I tell you, the Africa Twin is so tall, and everybody who's got an adventure bike has the same problem. But you might not have been able to tell just how fat I am, but I am a really fat guy, and I'm climbing a step ladder to get on that motorcycle. I can't swing my leg up. I have to climb up the motorcycle.
honestly,
Oh yeah. Mine is 35 inches at the seat. And that's on the low setting.
I did one time. I made a ride from Germany over with the train to Austria, over Slovenia, Hungary, Poland, close to the Ukraine. That was 2,800 kilometers in 10 days with a Suzuki, with a African Twin. Sorry.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Wow. Good for you, Ute. It's a wonderful bike to ride, isn't it?
Yeah, I have a GS, so 1,200.
Okay.
But I have long legs. I have not the problem with the size, you know.
So, well, I'm tall, but my legs are really short.
Yeah.
So, basically, I want to thank you all for giving us a chance to talk about the trip, to go through the footage together. My youngest son also was looking at the video, and it just really excited us to already have these memories, because the memory fades so quickly, right? We're already getting close to 6 months since we left. There were so many things that came up in this video. I'm like, oh, I forgot all about that. I forgot about that bridge. The goose chase. We cut that down to edit that out. That was the most bizarre thing I ever saw. I was in the front and I went by, and the goose was trying to cross the road, and I tried to swerve to miss the goose, and it jumped into my motorcycle and barely hit my motorcycle. And I don't know if it stunned it or made it mad or what happened, but the next one that came by is my half brother, and that goose took off after him. And that clip that you saw is only about a third. It chased him on his motorcycle right on the back tire for at least a couple of miles up that road. I've never saw anything so bizarre.
It's a good workout for the goose. That's great.
Good workout.
It was like 40 miles an hour.
Yeah. How fast were we going, Wyatt?
I think it was like 40 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Like that goose kept it up for a little while. It was just shocking, and it kept going.
He was really angry. They
Yes,
only
is a very
to make
mad
them
goose.
angry.
So if you want to see the whole killer goose video, and a lot of other great videos where he has actually cut the tat up into sections so that you can see more. His middle name is Ransom. And so he has a YouTube channel called Riders for Ransom, Riders for Ransom, on YouTube. If you search it, it'll pull right up, and you can see that whole goose video. It's bizarre.
Can you send it in the chat, please, Wyatt?
I'll send it again. Yeah. I'm
That would
sorry.
be
I was
great.
answering the one question from Scott, but instead of typing it out, I'll just say, like, I threw this video together in about 4 hours. You get faster as you go. But when I'm trying to like put them together, and I'm like, this one, I already had some highlights, and I kind of knew roughly when most of the highlights of the trip were that I wanted to include. So I was just kind of slapping clips in as fast as I could. Normally it takes like a week. So right now there's only 2 TAT videos up there that I've done, and it's been since the summer, just because, with work and everything, it just gets so difficult to sit down and plot them out, so there's a lot more videos to do, to be honest. Like,
all right, I'm going to let you answer their questions for a minute.
Oh, well, he cut, but so the webs, well, if you look it up on YouTube, it's just, you can look up Riders for Ransom, but ridersforransom.com redirects to the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
One of the coolest things, and I recommend that all of you, if you don't use this for your trips already, no matter what trips you're taking, there's an app called Relive. It's free, and you can see the results of it if you go to that YouTube channel. Dad took a relive of pretty much every day that we did. And what it does is you put your GPS on your phone, and as you drive, it tracks where you go. And if you take pictures, it automatically and videos, it'll automatically put them into this montage at the end of your riding day. And it'll show like where you went. It'll like draw the line for you. And I don't know, my neighbor is a huge like rally bike guy. He helped me a lot with, and he told me about it. And definitely.
How's that doing battery, Wyatt?
Well, we had our phones plugged in for the majority of the time. We have probably too much electronics hooked up, because also my dad is the only one who had a GPS. And I got an app on my phone that I don't even remember the name of. There's several different apps, but I was able to download me see if I can find it here, looking through my phone really quick. I used Locust Map where you can buy, it's like 50 cents per state. You get like 3 free maps and then it's like 50 cents a state. And you can to download them offline. It'll work all the time online, but I downloaded the maps to my phone so that the files were always available. And then I overlaid our map on top of that. So I was just using my phone as a GPS. With it, so I just had it plugged in all the time basically. So I never had to worry about battery.
That's cool.
What type of camera did you use?
So most of them were GoPro Hero 7s or 8s.
5s, actually. We had 3 8s and all the rest were 5s.
Oh, right. Well, and Craig had a 9.
Oh,
so it was a
Craig had
mix.
9. That's right. Craig
And
had a 9.
then the drone footage was done with a Mavic Pro 2 Zoom.
Which is too big. When I was talking about unloading stuff, get a Mavic Mini.
Or what is it? The Air, not the Mini, but like the Air. But yeah, smaller drone is better as long as it's got the features you want. The other problem with the drone is it was very time consuming to get out and use. So that led more into the issues with time where it's like, oh man, we really need to make this far. We don't have time to do a drone shot, even if we want to. So you really have to take time for it. So definitely like for the TAT, I would say, like Dad said, another 2 weeks would have been great. And also like, because that's a long time, I guess if you're not retired, then just do it in sections. Just say like this summer, I'm going to do this far. And this summer I'm going to do this far, and just do it in chunks. Cause I mean, it's amazing, but it's long.
That. There's a ton of people that do it that way. And you'll run into them and they'll say, yeah, we're doing Oklahoma to Telluride. And so people just do different sections.
And if you had to pick a chunk, Colorado, Utah.
But I think
consistent.
Oklahoma, it's pretty danger in the hurricane season because it calls Tornado Valley. You know, you have to be careful, I think.
Yeah. Well, also any rain in Oklahoma. So like when we were in Oklahoma, it had rained a couple of days before because there was just a huge storm front that happened to cover the whole southeastern US. And you can actually, there's a part of the video where we're like riding through some cornfields and you can see my uncle driving through the grass on the side of the road around a mud pit. And those were just kind of appear-in spots, and you can't ride across those. You just can't.
Wyatt ran out into one because we thought we could just ride through it. It's like 100 yards long. He 20 yards in and he's stuck. And so we were like 45 minutes.
It cost us like 45 minutes.
Yeah, just to do that. Just to get out of that. The GPS, Wyatt having the setup that he had was really handy because the GPS that I had there's 2 primary TAT routes. And I had one on a GPS, but we rode both. We switched back and forth. Mostly in the east, we rode. There's one called GPS.
Mostly in the east, they're the same. Mostly in the east, they don't diverge. But out west, they split dramatically.
Yeah, and so we rode a guy named Sam Correa, and he's the one that mapped it out to begin with. Like 20 years ago, he thought you should be able to ride a motorcycle on the dirt all the way to the West Coast, and he just started mapping it out. And I think he's over 80 now. His house is right on the TAT. If you stop, he comes out there and he'll take you to dinner in town. It's really an incredible fellowship that you have with people who do that ride. People stop and help each other, give tips if somebody breaks down. The motorcycle shops will work you right to the front of the line.
Oh yeah, we had to replace Zachary's chain at one point, and they got us right in.
Yeah. Because they all know about it. And, so if you've ever thought about doing it, we can't recommend it enough. Have plenty of time, be safe, make sure you have on serious gear because you are going to drop the bike more than once. You just can't.
Yeah, Craig dropped the bike quite a few times, but he never got hurt.
And he always jumped right back up and was ready to roll. So,
and they just tip over. You get stuck, you stop and you tip over. If you've ever ridden ADV bikes off road, you know how it is. you're going, and then you realize, oh, I didn't give it enough gas, or I didn't turn sharp enough or whatever. And they're big. Once they start to fall over, it just happens.
Chance. Yes, I know.
You
I
can't
never
hold that thing
go,
up.
maybe it's a European thing, I don't know, but I never go without protection clothes, never ever.
Most adventure bike riders seem to deck out pretty heavily, even when it's hot.
Yeah. But there's special gear if you are hot. I'm living in Texas, you know, so you need the stuff for that.
So Ute, I saw you're the club president.
Yes.
Is this I think I may be misunderstood. Is this a Rotary Club itself? Okay.
Yes.
And there's several people who are in the club that are also in the IFMR.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes, because we are all motorcycle riders, and Larry, by the way, he's the boss of the IFMR.
So all the Rotary Club of Motorcycling Rotarians, all the members of the Rotary Club are also members of IFMR.
Yeah.
Right. I've met you. I've met you, Larry, a couple times actually.
Yeah, I think so. Your name looks familiar, sounds familiar.
Yeah, and I'm a member of the IFMR as well.
Where
And
are you located?
And thank you very much for giving us our dues. I couldn't believe that.
Yeah, where are you located, George?
Front Royal, Virginia.
Okay, are you gonna be in Houston?
Planning to, yeah. John Smart's a good friend of mine. If I don't show up, he'll be really ticked off.
You're gonna lead an IFMR ride?
Well, shouldn't that be Ute? She's the host in Texas.
Yes.
No. What we're trying to do is all the regional directors in North America and the members to organize rides from all corners of North America to show up in Houston. I'll be sending out some more emails about it, but yeah.
So this would be the commute.
Yes. And my job is right now, so I blocked a hotel for all the motorcycle guys in North America, so that we can stay together in Houston. It's not really close to the convention center. It's a little bit, it's in town still. So you can go with the bikes. My husband is part of the HOC, the committee, you know, for the convention. And we blocked also at the convention center parking spots for the motorcycles. So if we want to go over that, we have parking spots over there. I think that will be the first convention we have really something special for all the motorcycles, you know. So, and the hotel is on the 610, so it's easy from the access to come in. It's a gated hotel. I was looking that I find a gated one because of the motorcycles when you come down. And the room rate is 109 included breakfast.
109, that's a very good rate.
It's for 2 persons.
It's better than what we got on most of the TAT hotels.
That's for sure.
So it's 3 days before the convention, during the convention, and 3 days after. And I am right now organizing a ride after the convention in the hill country. So the convention will ending at the 8th. The 9 we have pause. It's more for my husband and me that we can pack our stuff, you know, and make the motorcycles ready. And at the 10th, we were leaving together in the hill country, and we will stay there 3 days, or we stay longer. I blocked it for 7 days for us, that we have a break after the convention, and everybody who want to join us can join us after the ride, and we'll, you know, rest some days. Because June it will be, hopefully it will not that hot like usual, but be prepared for that.
Right.
So, but you're more than welcome to join us.
Well, we will be there. I had not planned to bring our bike, because my bike is not exactly a passenger bike, and my wife does not ride her own. But let me talk to her, see what she says.
Maybe she can fly over.
She can fly in and you ride.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I suspect I haven't gotten into detail with my wife yet, but my plan to ride from Reno to Houston, there's no way I would expect Katie to ride with me. So if she wants to go to the convention, I suspect she'll fly. But we have a granddaughter in Dallas that we're going to go visit. So that would tempt her to come to Texas to see the granddaughter in Dallas. And then as I ride back west, we have a daughter and grandchildren in Denver. She can fly to Dallas, fly to Denver, and then fly home. So while I ride. So there's lots of options how you work it out with the family.
Yeah, and it's only one time
George,
a
you're only-
year, and we had so long time we had no convention, so maybe she will understand that too. And it's a first convention because I was in Atlanta with a bike with another Rotarian, and I think we was the only one. We couldn't see anybody else with a bike in Atlanta. So, oh, you was
Well, I
there
had
in
my
Atlanta. We don't know each other at this
George-
time, so.
Yeah, John.
George, you're only a couple hours away from me. I'm just outside of Gettysburg.
Oh, yeah, you're right down the 81. I'm trying to,
I come down
you
through
guys know
Fort
Bob
Royal all the
Schreiner?
time.
You guys know Bob Schreiner?
Never heard of Bob Schreiner. Never heard of Bob Schreiner.
Yes, we all know
Okay.
Bob.
Great.
No, I never met
I've
him.
been on a couple rides with Bob. That's when I first joined the IFMR.
Mhm.
We did
But you're more-
we did a really cool one over to the Green Bank Telescope, the radio telescope over there a few years back.
But you are more than welcome to join us, you know, in the meetings or whatever. You can show up. You're more than welcome if you like.
Thank you.
Were
very
you
much.
able to keep up with Bob?
With Bob?
Yeah, he rides fast.
He does ride fast. He had his wife with him, and so maybe wasn't riding as fast as he normally does when we went to Green
What
Bank.
bike
It's
he's
pretty-
riding?
Oh boy, you stumped me. I'm not going to be able to remember. I don't think he ride a Harley. I think he might be like a Honda. Anyway,
I think he's got a BMW.
He was riding
I
a
think he's got a
concourse.
BMW.
he probably rides
Excuse me,
multiple.
Rory?
I said back then he was riding a Kawasaki concourse.
That's it.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right. Yeah, Kawasaki.
I was on that ride.
Oh, you were?
Yes.
What? Let me look at you closer. What's your name there?
Rory.
Rory. Remember that little presentation they gave us over there? It was a nice ride.
Yes.
And we stopped down in Stanton. So that's Stanton Rotary Club where they greeted us and let us ride through the park, the Pioneer Park. So that's my district, where that was, and that's kind of why Bob invited me. And those are wonderful folks down there. That was a nice ride. Where did we stay? I'm trying to remember where we stayed at when we overnighted. Was it one night or two?
Was it Canaan Valley?
Well, it was two for us. We're from Michigan.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely gonna be two for you.
Oh, that's too. The club is also located in Michigan, is District 6380. So our
Okay.
club, because Jerry was, you know, one of the guys who built the club,
Founded
and
the club.
it's
What a
only
fun idea.
4 years or something.
The flexibility of membership, that's one of the best things that Rotary has done to allow clubs like yours to exist. And I'm so grateful to have had the opportunity and to be asked to speak to the club. I know as a past president and a past governor that there's
Also, another
quitting time
PDG.
and a quitting time. So I don't want to go past my time. But I'm grateful that we got to share our experience with you.
Thank you. We enjoyed it. Thank you very much to take the time and let us know and the video was awesome, Wyatt, by the
Wyatt.
way.
Yeah.
Certainly. If
It
you
was
want to watch it,
awesome.
and I don't know if it was stuttery for you guys, but if you want to watch it in high definition, it's up there.
Okay.
On the
thank you.
YouTube channel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice. Thank you. And Wyatt, by the way, you said you are located in Utah. This
Yes.
is one is on my bucket list. I want to go to Utah one time with a bike. When it's the best time to go over there?
It's
From
a
the,
little bit challenging because, well, I don't know too much about Southern Utah in this regard, but where I live,
Mhm.
as soon as the snow starts falling, the trails are closed. They're either now snowmobile trails or they are just muck. So, and plus it's really cold. So you get a riding window of nice weather starting in about May.
Mhm.
Mid to late May, June is when you really expect the snow to be totally cleared out. And then by July, it's brutally hot. We did a ride in Southern Utah. Now we didn't do any trail riding.
Oh, that was a great ride.
But that was just a nice ride. That was me, Dad, Zach. It was actually the same people we did the tat with.
Mhm.
All pavement. Wait,
No, it
that's a
was not.
lie.
Remember,
No,
we
it was
got
not all
lost.
pavement. That's right. We lied to Craig about it. We said there's no dirt in this, and we thought there wasn't. And then within about 10 minutes, we were riding up the side of a mountain. Anyway, that was in September. And so the fall, actually, sorry, I'm dragging this way out because I'm thinking about it too hard. The fall is when I would do it. It's not too hot. The snow hasn't hit yet. I would do the fall.
Zion and Bryce and Canyon, man, just that whole area.
Yeah, the fall colors in southern Utah are spectacular around Bryce and
Right, the
Zion and all
aspens.
that. I've ridden that area multiple times and it's fabulous.
It really is. Hey, if you do go check out the YouTube, I'm going to say this because Wyatt is has too much humility to do it, but like and subscribe to his channel. He's adding content to it, and it's got some fun stuff. If you're into motorcycling, there's some fun stuff to see there.
I'm trying.
Thank you.
What's the name of the channel?
So
It's Riders for Rants. I'll post it one more time. This will
no,
redirect you there.
It's on.
Oh, it's there.
Yeah, it's there on the chat. David.
Oh yeah, it's right there. So if you go to Riders 4 with the number 4 ransom.com, it'll
6:40
redirect you there.
6:40, he wrote it in the chat. Can you see it, David?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hey, Wyatt, I got the URL right for the relive, right, in the chat?
Probably will that redirect to the app?
Oh, I should have talked about that.
Relive.cc. I was like, that's CC.
Oh yeah. That is the correct app.
Thank you.
If you guys are doing any trips and you want to just quickly relive your trips, and if you click that link, you'll see exactly what the app does. They've got a little animation there right on their website.
Well, and you can see we have several of the relives posted on your website.
It's free and it's a must-have.
Yeah.
It's just really cool way to relive your trips after you've taken. Then it always condenses them down to like 2 or 3 minutes.
But honestly, this is the reason why we have that club. You know, normally when you meet together with motorcycle people in Germany, we call it gasoline talk. You know, and you talk over all the specific things only motorcycle riders interested about that. And you know, what you're using for helmets, what is the best communication system, like what Wyatt said, you know, with the drone, take a mini one, not a bigger one, things like that. So, and this is actually why we was built, you know, to have these talks together and share the experience with each other, you know. So again, thank you, and you are more than welcome, both of you, to join us. Wyatt, you are also a Rotarian?
Not officially. I just kind of tag along with Dad to different things at various times.
He's the Rotarian at heart. He always has been.
Yeah, but you can join us. So
George, you're in a Rotary Club, correct?
I am.
Yes,
yeah.
he is.
Rotary Club of Warren County.
Okay, so you can stay in your own Rotary Club and you can join this club as an associate member.
Yes.
And be in tune with all the things that this club is going through, and stay in your Rotary Club at home. That's what I've done.
I think we are the most club with the most PDGs. This is why I said another PDG, you know, because
well, you know what's funny with PDG? Some PDG, they don't know what the P means. But for me, I can hardly wait to get the P so that I can go and do projects and ride motorcycles.
Exactly. It's what my husband says: past, dead, and done.
Very good.
So thank you, guys. Would you like to lead us in the 4-way test, George?
I would be happy to.
That would be nice.
So I'm going to do it the way we do it in my club. I don't know if it's how you do it in your club. Of the things we think, say, or do, first, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? And fifth, is it fun?
Yeah,
It would be fun. Yes.
that's exactly how we do it. Thank you for that. And guys, we have a board meeting after the meeting, and it would be nice if you join us. And all the other, I say good night and thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Ute. Very
Bye-bye.
wonderful time to join your meeting.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, George. I'm going to take off too.